Wait, what are they looking at?
They're looking at this one.
They're looking at this one?
Yeah, they can see it.
I don't know any like examples off the top of my head that did.
TSM weekly.
TSM didn't do OT,
Yeah,
did it?
Yeah.
Oh shit. You did this? Oh, look at you. Stop playing with him, he said. Oh, this is actually perfect. Wow. All right, so this is actually a really good example. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay. So the main way I like to use, so OTE, what it stands for is just your optimal trade entry. And I like to pair this with you just using the Fibonacci's because the market is very algorithmic driven, right? And so how do you optimize a lot of these algorithms, a lot of these programs? Well, you use Fibonacci's, and it's like a mathematical derived sequence. We don't have to get into like the theory of it, but pretty much what ICT and like a lot of other smart money traders use is this range from your 0.5 to your 0.786, which establishes that optimal trade entry. And just like it says, is your optimal trade entry is when you have, the way I like to use it is when you have, for example, TSM, you're in an obvious downtrend, right? You got the lower highs, lower lows, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, until you get around here where you make a higher low and then you break the previous high. So now you're breaking the previous sequence. So rather than continuing on the downtrend, you made a higher low and then you broke that previous high. So in this scenario here, where you're getting displacement and you're changing your sequence, so you're no longer making a sequence of lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. Now you get this nice displacement. So on this displacement where you change sequence is where I use the Fibonacci's, and I use just this range. And the way you do it is when you have displacement, so either you're getting displacement continuation to the downside like this, or you're changing your sequence or narrative. And so in this scenario, you make a higher low and then a higher high when you break these pivots here. So what you want to do is you want to take that displacement range. So you go from this low to when you start getting corrective activity. So like you can let this play out a little bit to see where the actual high is going to be. And then when you finally start getting some consecutive red candles, you'll come in and you'll anchor it from the low to the high, just like he did. And usually how it goes is if this is going to change sequence, right? Because we were in a large downtrend on the weekly. After we make a higher high, what usually needs to come afterwards? If we're going to be in a new established uptrend, what do you need to see in an uptrend? What consists of an uptrend?
Higher low. Yeah,
higher low, right? So if this is going to continue, you want to see a nice bullish retracement and then a higher high. So that's what the OTE is for, is when you identify that displacement either in a new narrative or in continuation of the trend, you'll draw it from the high to low or from the low to high, depending on what you just did. So in this scenario, we had a nice market structure shift on the weekly with our displacement to the upside. So we draw our fibs, and then what's cool about this is where you can add confluence. So when price starts trading into all this, you want to look for previous confluences. Like for example, one thing I like to do a lot of is something where you have a previous lower high and you break above that. When you come back down, what do you want to see this area here usually act as? Like if you had an area where price couldn't get above and you do come back down to retest it, what would you expect to happen for the most part?
Expecting it to bounce?
Yeah, you want to flip these sellers into buyers. And like, look, if you draw your crosshairs, look what happens. It happens a lot. So that's one thing, right? We have our optimal trade entry. We have an idea of where price can make a higher low. We have an area where it used to be aggression in sellers. So now we know, okay, we might even get a bounce here because this could be known as the flip, where you have a previous resistance on the weekly that didn't allow us to go higher for almost 3 weeks. Now for 3 weeks, we use it as support. And then when you want to put the cherry on top is if you have some kind of supportive or value gap, and you do, like this entire, that's why I love displacement into new trend shifts, because a lot of the times when you get that initial trend shift, like you have the lower lows, lower highs, and then you finally make like a different sequence or whatever, when you get that initial like it happens here too, right? You break out, then you make a higher low. This was all a fair value gap. Break out, come back. This is all a fair value gap. So when you can put all those things together, it adds for a really nice risk to reward trade. Because this happens so much, especially when you can catch it on the larger time frames. It's fucking money. I mean, look at where you're getting double inside week at your OTE, and nobody's talking about this except for ADEX, because he knew. And now look at this candle. I mean, this isn't always going to be the case, but this is how you can catch those OTEs. And I really like using the example of when you're in a downtrend and you start getting that initial shift in character or whatever. I think those are one of the best. That's one of like my favorite setups to play. And this had like,
I think I just saw that on DraftKings Daily. But while you were explaining it, I was just looking at the DraftKings chart, and then it's like the exact same thing.
oh yeah, it literally is the exact same thing. But the only thing here is like what I really like is like this previous high is kind of acting as support for like 3 days now. So and we just went outside into the upside. So I would really like for us to kind of hold at minimum like 23 and then see if we can get some continuation back up into here. But as long as this gap is acting as support, I think it'll be really good too. And then 1 sec.
Abby, can you take a look at Apple 1 hour?
Look. From this low to this high, because this is your gap up, and we're getting a retracement. You have a gap here, previous high, your OTE. Look where you get a nice outside bounce too.
Yeah, that was my entry. I took it, but I didn't even know, honestly. I just took it because I saw support.
I mean, I will build DraftKings even if we come down here. As long as this gap is somewhat as support, like even if we come back and fill it and still hold, we're still making a higher low on the daily. So,
yeah.
You know,
I have June 16th anyways.
I have August 30th, so we got plenty of time on this.
Oh shit! Yeah, I appreciate it, bro.
Whoops.
Yo, Abby,
Yeah.
can you take a look at Apple?
But did that make sense with the Fibonacci's and stuff? Wow, look at Apple.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay,
Yeah, it does.
Apple's gonna go outside week, bro.
You see what I'm seeing, bro?
Oh, Slicky. Hold on, bro. Hold on.
Hold on,
Hold on, bro.
God.
What the hell is this, DJ? Why do you what the hell? How do I wait? Why does he have it like that? Well, anyways, I know exactly what you're talking about. This little manipulation down here in the distribution. Yes, sir. Let's go, bro. So what he's talking about is the power of 3, guys. If I knew how he has his settings, I don't know. Anyways, you get like the consolidation here, and then you get this manipulation because you see how this takes out these like consolidation range lows, and then you get the expansion up. And that's usually known as your power of 3. I just don't know how he has this set up. So weird. This is so ugly, but you get your consolidation, manipulation when you take out a range low or range high. In this case, it was to the downside, and now you're getting expansion. So Apple, in theory, should still have room to. What in the world, dude? This guy has some weird settings too, whatever this is. 174.65. Because you're getting your broadening highs. This is just the power of 3 and how it plays out. You usually have some kind of long accumulation, the manipulation, where you take out either the low of the range or the high of the range, and then if you get the follow through, because this is what happened on QQQ also. Look, I'll show you. If anyone followed the chart I shared in admin trade ideas, it literally happens here. And what's cool about this is, like, you have the consolidation here, right? And then you get the manipulation down here, right? Because you take out this, look how it's ranging. You take out this range low, and then you get the expansion out. You see how you take out the high? You see how here you take out this range low and then the follow through? And then if you do this, look at this retracement. Golden zone, continuation. And I literally posted this in admin trade ideas, this exact same thing. And we talked about establishing a higher low, which we did. and then seeing follow through. And I think we were looking for 335 as well. Qs are just on rampage, man. Definitely not something to sleep on. Watch SPY too to potentially go outside 15 here. But yeah, this is that power of 3 concept. Super powerful. If you can identify the range, and then that's kind of what I'm hoping Bitcoin does as well. It's just not as strong. You see, you kind of range, and then this candle here takes out all of these, all of this sell side liquidity, and then you wake it back up. So now we just need to see if we can get follow through, because it happened as well down here. You consolidate, higher high, then you dump, higher high, then you dump, then wicked it, then wicked it.
Hey, Abby, look at SPY on the 15. Is that the same setup with the power of 15? Talked about?
SPY on the 15.
Like through Tuesday, the consolidation on Tuesday. You're on 65.
Oh.
No, go on ES 1 hour. You see it clear.
Wait, ES, you said? Dude,
Yeah,
it's
ES
just
1 hour. You see it more clear.
he has his monitors all like.
Bro, we have 65% on Apple? Bro, what?
Is
What? Y'all didn't tell me? Come on now. Y'all know I don't be looking at my P. Y'all know I don't be looking at my P&L. Come on.
Oh yeah, look,
Bro,
it happens here.
Bro, we 65% on Apple.
Yes, sir.
Like you,
1 hour.
whoops.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I can't. But you guys see it here, right? Like you range, then you take out these lows, and then you get that expansion. This is real clean.
This is why I switched my bias when all those relative equal lows like that rammed. Say, okay, if your objective is met, you need to change your plan.
This is the power of 3 setup on Apple on 65.
Bro.
So you should get expansion up into 174.65.
You know we look at the charts, baby.
And you have full time frame continuity.
You know we look at the charts.
Dude,
We
you're
said
$4 away from all
I was like, why is Apple going down?
Harry,
and everything
Abby,
going
good question.
Yeah.
How are you three? How will you play? You wait for the candle.
So, for the most part, what you can do, the way I like to do it is once you identify the consolidation and you see that initial manipulation, you want to make sure you can get some confirmation on the higher time frames. So like if this is like in this scenario, we are in the hourlies, like I would wait for at least some kind of confirmation that it's coming back to the upside. Like don't buy on this big red candle because you don't know if like it can continue, right? So you want to make sure you can at least address that there's buyers there. In this case with wicks and or, you know, reversals on the hourlies is how I would play it. Because if you're still catching it down here and you start seeing these like reversal candles, you still have so much more momentum to go.
Got you, perfect. Appreciate it.
Yeah, hopefully that OTE stuff made sense. Hopefully that helped.
Yeah, it did. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Dude, why do you have your monitors all weird?
I don't know. All I know is that we up on Apple
It
too,
works.
baby. Look at semis. Look at Google, bro. Look at Google. Google said we ain't done, baby.
Bro,
Google said we gonna make you $6 in the money and we ain't done.
he's dancing right now.
We ain't done. We ain't done.
You have not seen anything until you see this man dance, bro.